Hello guys and welcome to a video on the 3 new Formable nations in the new DLC, Leviathan. But before we get into this, please do consider subscribing if you love EU4 content. The first Formable nation we're going to talk about is Siam. The new DLC has certainly updated the region, and I'd say it certainly means you can do more within the area that has often been neglected in earlier patches. Siam can be formed by a new Siamese cultured nation, which is a new culture group that Paradox have added. As you can imagine therefore, this elephant-loving nation will be a superpower in the region, and even the likes of Ryukyu will be scared of this great nation. I'm really looking forward to trying to form this nation when the new DLC comes out later this year. Siam national ideas are also really overpowered. As we can see here, they have discipline, morale of armies, and manpower. I think they'd even give Prussia a run for their money in the military department. These national ideas certainly are great if you want to expand your empire, especially when you have the superpower of Ming next to you. I also quite like the elephant national idea, and I don't know how easy this would be, but maybe Paradox could potentially add an elephant unit type when recruiting in the military. I have no idea how this would work in practice, but it would be great to hear what you guys think in the comments. Moving on to the Siam missions. These missions include developing your capital and making it into a glorious city. Although Blackpool is the most glorious city on Earth, with its fantastic pier, so it may be rather difficult to gain this achievement, given the prestige of Blackpool. Moving on, one of the final missions is when Siam has to invade Ming in order to claim the Mandate of Heaven. So yet again, this really does add more to the region in the game. The second nation we're going to talk about is Hawaii. It is a nation with stunning beaches and great dancing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Paradox have completely changed the Hawaiian region, with 4 nations within the region. The developers have said sadly that they don't want to spoil the surprise of the new national ideas for Hawaii, but it's good to ponder what they could potentially be. My guess is it will be navally based, with trade power and naval combat ability. I also imagine that since Hawaii is so isolated from the world in the middle of the ocean, you'd mainly have to play Tool and develop your provinces in the early game. So I imagine a lot of the national ideas will be based around that. I'm really looking forward to forming this nation in the new EU4 update and hopefully do a Hawaiian world conquest quicker than late. The third and final new nation is Aotearoa. This can be formed by the newly added Maori tribes in New Zealand. Similar to Hawaii, more information is still yet to come, but we do notice the new Maori ideas that have been added to the game. The Maori ideas include national ideas such as Prestige, Land Leader Shock, and Global Sailor Modifier. I can't lie though, these ideas are not great and may need to be upgraded for this nation, so that this nation can be more competitive against other nations like Siam. Paradox have also added more country-specific events in the game, which can boost these nations. So overall, the regions these countries are in are getting a massive update, which I think adds quite a lot to the game. But there's something that crossed my mind during the making of this video. 2 years ago, I went on a safari around the world of EU4 and made a video on the top 5 animals in the game. During my safari, however, around the world, I was distraught to learn that although kangaroos had been added to Australia in large numbers, as you can see here, there are no emus, one of my favourite animals. I was outraged at the time that there were no emus in the game, and 2 years later, Paradox has still added no emus to the game. Reading the new dev diary about the new update in Australia, although it was great to hear about Australia being buffed, there was no mention of emus. This, as you can imagine, really upset me. And it's certainly true that ever since the Great Emu War of 1932, these creatures have been underrepresented in games. But could we potentially change that with your help and get Paradox to add emus in Australia in the new update? Let me know what you think in the comments.